We sit directly opposite in our commentary position the tent, so we have pretty much the same view of the pitch as you do, except I'm here in the slightly overcast rain of Deqing this morning. We do have some cover, so don't feel too sorry for us. But bright sunshine would suit us all better, as it was in Miyoshi 20 years ago when we last played a World Championship in Asia. But the team's being called to order. A couple of minutes late, we've had the odd technical issue, but we're good to go. Everybody champing at the bits. Referee Hansen throws the ball in. It's due for China. Helena for Malaysia, and it's a close contest, I would say. Who from Malaysia got their second but got the ball? Plenty of sprinters will tell you that's the job. It's not how fast they are. If they come out with the ball, that's their job done. And certainly on that occasion, Helena gets the ball, settles this. Chinese under 21 women setting up in what you would call a classic 3-and-1 combination there. Move to 2-and-2, very nice to see them using a mixture of tactics. Not always easy, very good. Inside, Malaysian team sitting deep at the moment. Making a drive forwards, off the top bar. These two teams sitting at the foot of the under-21 women's Group E, which makes it even more crucial for both of them. At the end of the day at these championships, if it's your first championship as it is for the People's Republic of China, you have to pay a tariff. It is impossible now in canoe polo. The sport's been established with world championships for 30 years. You can't turn up and win it. You have to do your apprenticeship. You have to do a few hard games where some of the big teams have to run some goal difference past you. But here we have Malaysia setting themselves up for their second long period of attack of the game. People's Republic of China got them pushed out to the 6-metre line very nicely, holding them out. And that attack weathered by Chinese team. They've certainly got some personal skills here. There's been some good shots and some paddling skills. This is what we'd expect to see. They've got to blood themselves, as I say. As I was just saying, they have got to do this. And this kind of game, two Asian teams, very important to them. Move up the table. And end-to-end stuff, but with almost 3 minutes gone, the score's still tied at 0. Shot clock's going to come into play here, just 10 seconds. The Malaysian team are going to have to actually make something happen. 3, 2, 1, that's the shot clock. That's away, and that's fallen for the Chinese. I think probably that was over the limit, but the churn of possession has worked, made it easier for everyone. Long punting ball forwards to do, but she's got no support. Has to recycle it backwards. It's a shame if there'd been someone else there could have made a bit more of that. Now that's a fine shot. That is a good, hard, high shot, but brought down. So getting into this. Well played. Still tied, 5 minutes gone. People's Republic of China in the black boats, white buoyancy vests and white helmets. Retreating now to their defensive position. Malaysia in the black boats, magenta buoyancy vests and black helmets. I have to correct myself there. Had those teams confused. I can do nothing but apologise to them and their people. We'll name check everybody properly for you at half time. Rushing in. Driving forwards. Malay team, this time that's with Munira. Timeout from the referees, ball's gone out of play. They have to use the match ball, can't use a ball of their own or a ball from elsewhere. Fully at the briefing, we've got one ball in. China come away from their goal line. Fung with the ball, just recycling here. These teams scrubbing time off the shot clock. Tactic used by a lot of the men. Want to build an attack, make sure everyone in the team is on it. That's a reset for the shot clock from referee Anderson. And that's a first deliberate foul warning for number 6 of the Malay team. That's Eva. Shots up in the air, not enough on that to trouble the keeper. That was brought down comfortably by Zaylin. Brings the ball out herself, pushes away, but under pressure from her opposite number, Lu. And Lu doing a great job here, all on her own against 4 players, but manages to recover the ball and get a shot away, but that shot goes under the goal. A lot of effort in that. Number 9, Lu for China, putting in a shift, just thought it was worth a harry, and she did pick up the ball, paddling back. Now Malaysia get to come forward, and again a reset. I think that's starting outside the 6 metre area, and that's a first official warning for number 5 of China, which will be Huzhou, the captain. 6 metre infringement, I'm fairly sure. I didn't actually see it myself, but clearly indicated as a first deliberate foul warning by both referees. Yeah, this end-to-end stuff really. Unable to break the deadlock, as you might expect. 2 quite evenly matched sides here. So again, a regroup, but they're going to run out of shot clock time here. China, if they're not quick, 5 seconds. Can they get a shot away? Yes, they can. And there's enough legs on it. That really was one of the best chances of the half that fell to Wei off the top bar. I think if that had fallen in, it might well have beaten the keeper. It was just a shot clock driven shot, but one of the best opportunities of the game. And Malaysia comes streaming back at them. There's some power on that, and that breaks the deadlock. That's number 9 for Malaysia, Azalin, the captain, doing a captain's job. Long way out, but plenty of legs on it, and she scores the opening goal. So Malaysia take a 1-0-0 lead over the People's Republic of China with 1 3/4 minutes left on the first half of this game. All Asian content between the under-21 women of these 2 nations. Group E, Women's Group WE, under-21s. 12 teams in this under-21 competition. And again, illegal kayak tackle on the 6 metre line. Free throw being taken too far forward for a referee. And so back to where the ball was, not the infringement, but where the ball was. You're allowed to take a certain level of advantage, whatever suits you, but not 5 metres forward of that. And Malaysia come again. Azalin, the big shooter, they're a long way out, but they've proved they can score from here, but whether they're going to, 30 seconds on their shot clock and a little more on the game. Malaysia would love to score another, I'm sure, but this 1-goal lead is precious at half-time. They don't want to do anything that allows China to back into it, and that's over the top and loose. This is going to be a contest here. Who's going to get the better of it? I think it's fair to say that Lu did in the end, and she had a pass out. So that's Zhang. Zhang brings the ball away, passes it. There's plenty of time on this, 40 seconds. And it's in the air. That is eventually Zhou realised, the captain Zhou realised that they were actually not being pressed. Open goal, no one there, and just threw it over the top of everything. The referees have called a timeout and going for a conversation, but I certainly didn't see anything controversial in that. For me, that's the equaliser, but no, both referees clearly wanted that conversation. Unusual, but referee Anderson, referee Fear, just tidying the... Would love to be able to eavesdrop on that, but a little bit of privacy for the referees to discuss what's going on, but it looks steady to me, but who knows what they've seen. I'm sure all will be revealed in just a moment. Let's see which way this falls. A bit like a VAR at a soccer match. We have to wait for the final decision where the lines are going to be drawn. There is, of course, no offside in canoe polo, but the idea that they're just had a little nod from the referee that it's an issue with the clock that they're concerned about, whether there was actually 40 seconds left on the game. So we have got one of the chief referees or the referee manager over there. So there is obviously a small issue with the timing, which I think is the thing. I would just like to say that the timing and line judging being provided by volunteers who were trained for a few days before this event, and broadly speaking it's been excellent, but we do seem to have a small issue here, whether it's the equipment or the crew, I wouldn't like to say. But we have had, it's all been almost seamless, so very disappointing this, but I'm sure we'll be on top of it quickly. Just take this moment while we wait to thank some of the main sponsors of this event, the International Canoe Association, International Canoe Federation, sorry, the Chinese Canoe Association, Huzhou City, Deqing County, Yupin Sport, Kuokong Group, and Latour Sports and Chaos. Referee Anderson now just explaining to the captains what's happened. It is an o'clock issue, as we see. Obviously we can't hear that conversation. I've got a feeling from my personal internal game clock that there was less time left than is currently showing on the clock, but there are far more qualified people than me sorting out over there. And we're back. Let's see what we are given. It is going to be a restart throw. That clearly is going to be 1-1. The clock, it would appear, as frozen, which is why we have got a manual indication of the 1-1 scoreline. Our on-screen graphics are independent of the ones on the jury table, so we're ahead of the game there, and that's a swinging shot from Effa for Malaysia that is blocked with a paddle. And that has been called instantly by referee Anderson as a penalty without any shadow of a doubt, completely clear. Committed the offence by Fung, who's been obviously sent off for that as a paddle offence. There's a swinging arm and a swinging paddle, and at the end of the day, I don't suggest any of the referee calls are easy, but I don't think referee Anderson had any hesitation in going straight to his pocket, indicating penalty. And here we are in literally the last throw of the game. It's going to be taken by Azain as a penalty. It's either going to be the lead or we're going to be tied at 1. What is it going to be? Setting up the penalty. Yep, players are in position. Which is it to be? And it's a goal. So we go into the half-time break. Both teams are back to 5. The final goal of the half is called by Azain for Malaysia. And they take a 2-goal-to-1 lead into half-time. So as we recap the half, the biggest event of the half was the enormous mistake made by myself getting the team sheets crossed over and calling the teams wrong for the beginning. I will reiterate those team places. We have attacking from our right in the second half in black kayaks, white buoyancy vests and white helmets. The under-21 women's team from the People's Republic of China, and from our left in the black boats, magenta buoyancy vests and black helmets, the under-21 women's team from Malaysia. They are all-Asian final. First time we've had these teams at this event. Massive deal here in Deqing County. And we will name check them if we get production swing to them. And we have there the team for the People's Republic of China. And they are number 1, He. Number 2, Wei. Number 3, Yu. Number 4, Du. Number 5, the captain, Zhou. Number 6, Zhang. Number 7, Li. Number 8, Feng. Number 9, Lu. And number 10, Lai. And now as we swing across to look at the Malaysian under-21 women's team, they are number 1, Jay Shin, number 2, Elia, number 4, Mira, number 5, Helena, number 6, Efa, number 7, Munira, and number 9, the captain, Azain. And so the Malaysian women's team winning by 2-1 as we go into the second half. Drizzle is coming down, as has done so often through the first 2 days of this competition. That half very cagey, very tight, 2 very closely matched teams. But really we all thought we were going into the half-time break at 1-1. But the last play of the game, on the 1-second buzzer, a swinging arm from Malaysia is met by the paddle. And sure enough, a penalty the outcome, and that penalty put away by the captain Azain for the Malaysian women. Referees having the kind of clock issues that all referees dread, and plenty to do with a penalty, but clearly not flustered, not ruffled, and we're all sorted. Clock appears to be back on song. 1 minute to go in the half-time break and we will be back underway. Referee Anderson just checking that the table is all ready. For those of you new to canoe polo, 1 player from each team makes a charge start for the ball. After that, the basic principle of the sport is simple. There's a ball and there's a goal. After that, we are allowed to push a player in possession of the ball. There is boat-to-boat contact, and the paddles can be used to block or pass the ball. There are rules around how close the paddle can come to an opponent for their safety's sake, and we have a fairly comprehensive list of rules to keep every safe. Obstruction is not allowed, but an element of screening is. There is some phenomenal canoe play with jostling inside a 6-metre area, but broadly speaking, the game is underway. 1 player from each team makes the charge. On this occasion it is Mira who gets there first and wins the ball against her Chinese counterpart, Zhou. And the first possession of the half goes to the team marginally ahead, which is by 2-1 Malaysia. Ball into space and paddling forwards. Whose team talk has been inspired most? Driving forwards, Malaysia pushing in. A lot of work going on there, but not really getting close to the Chinese goal. Malaysia here. The defensive line well drilled. You see almost a flat 4 line there. Moved to 3 and 1. Chinese pushing Huzhou out onto the front. Try and chase the ball. Malaysia passing inside. Play on, resets the shot clock for Malaysia. They've got another minute. I don't know if they realise the hand passing it through. Very nice and close. And actually takes the chance and scores. That's Effa for Malaysia, number 6. Superbly done. So that 2-1 lead is stretched to 3-1 within the first minute of the second half. Unlucky for the Chinese. Plenty to come back, but they've conceded right on the second before half time, and they've conceded within the first minute of the second half. That could turn the game. This is going to test their mettle, really. Can they realise that this is just a really less than a minute's worth of play has defined that? They mustn't let that define the game. They're going to have to dig in and get the next goal. Of the less experienced teams here, both of these teams. Good for them to get a chance to play on a par team. Obviously when they come up against some of the giants of the sport, and that's nicely done. Placed by Du. Looping shot into the top of the goal, drops into the net. Very nicely done. So 3-2. Referee Anderson calling the captain for Malaysia over. Both captains. Zooming in on referee Anderson, trying to figure out what he's actually asking them to do. In a conversation, trying to help part of the job here to manage this game well. So referee Anderson trying to do that, asking the players to go, the captains to go back to the team to explain whatever it is he's asked them to do. And we're away. Malaysia leading now by 3-2. That was exactly what the Chinese team needed to pull this game back. I think if that had stretched any further than 2-goal lead, it would have been difficult for them, but they've answered that early goal in this half from Malaysia in exactly the right way by scoring one of their own. And it wasn't the toughest goal, but it was very important in the structure of this game. And China come again now. This is it. Zhang, they've got their teeth into this. This is a good attack if they can get the ball there. It's going to have to recycle. No, there's another player. Well played, Du into the gap. Yeah, going to have to recycle it there. Couldn't keep the ball moving forward. I think tactically that was right. Bring it back to the captain. So she's controlling the play, and that's better than throwing it away in front of the Malaysian goal. They've done well here. This is good control, and this is exactly what they needed to do from 2 down. They've pulled this back, and that was a decent chance. Unlucky for them, it went low and wide. Nice response to going down there from the Chinese. Malaysia away, but we've got a game back on now. I think the Malaysians had a chance to run away with it for a moment, but the Chinese have got the lid on it and they've pulled this back, and now we're back in a close contest. That's what we want. Great for these teams, great for them to show that they've got that strength of character. That's a tackle outside the 6-metre line, and that's adjudged as a deliberate foul, and that's a sending off. If I'm correct, then that is the Chinese player. The captain, Zhou, has been sent off for tackling outside the 6. Might get an on-screen graphic to confirm that, but definitely that's a power play send-off. So China will be down to 4, either until Malaysia score or for 2 minutes. Well, that's the answer to when that will be. That's a score, so that's a Zaylin. Restores the 2-goal lead for Malaysia, and China return to 5. They have to regroup, they have to do it all again now. They've clawed their way back into the game. They've just got to do the same again. And this is the ebb and flow of sport. They were back in it. Now they've got 2-goal deficit to close. I'm sure they can. They've proved they can before. You're going to just have to keep doing it. Looking for an inside pass, but the player wasn't ready for it, a better back to the ball, couldn't have received, but she was in a nice position, so I could see why Du wanted to pass it through to her, but just couldn't do it. Good decision to recycle it, really. Yeah, working the numbers here, China. Making some passes, settling their nerves. That's what they have to do. There's plenty of time left in this game, but that as an obstruction or holding foul is going to cost them dearly. The referee's not going to allow them to take. Oh, failure to present. That's a lack of discipline. That's a real coach killer foul. Failed to present the ball. That turns over possession to the other team, and that returns it to China. Can they get something out of this? They've certainly come forwards fast enough. That was on target. It did need saving. That would show the captain trying to score something, and that will be gratefully plucked up by Zaylin in the Malay goal. This is nice handling from the Chinese team. They're ending up shooting from a long way out, but clearly the passing set is good here. They're well drilled. No product, and Malaysia comes streaming back at them. Danders up a little bit. Oh, this is going to hurt. It's another tackle outside the 6, I'm afraid. And the referees have had enough of that. That's another green card. This time for Liu of China. They go down to 4 again. Disappointing for us, the independent crowd, and very disappointing for the Chinese coach. 2 sendings off for 6-metre infringements. That hurts. And again, some careless paddles. This is the frustration peeping through. They've got to get a lid on this, China. They're still in this game if they can keep their heads. They're down to 3 now. Oh no, ringing the changes. 4, just trying to keep everybody fresh. Very wise, very draining to play with 4 players at Polo. 2 minutes. If you have to play with 4 players for that, the energy that has to be spent to match the opponent with 5 is very, very hard to deliver. Hard to underestimate how much it takes out of you. And no, that free throw doesn't get cleanly taken. That's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be another sending off. That's going to leave China with just 3 players. They almost need to hope that this is a score to bring them back up to 4. Need to be very, very careful here. As Aylin's shown, she has got what it takes to score from the penalty spot. So China down to 3. It would almost be wise to let this in. I'm sure that Wei doesn't really want to do that, but they really could do with getting a player back, even if it costs them a goal. Doesn't get the option anyway. I don't think she deliberately let that in, but it's a goal. China come back up to 4, but Azaylin adds to her tally, and Malaysia going to a 5-goal-to-2 lead. China back to 4. Obviously, if they drop from 3 to 2, then the game would be abandoned and they would forfeit. No, they should be back to 4. There's a little bit of confusion here, but the goal from the penalty should mean they're back to 4, I'm quite sure. Yeah, and everyone agrees. I think that's rattled the Chinese now. They have to get their heads back on this game. 4 minutes, they're a long way behind at 5-2 down, but they have to play well. Mustn't let this get to them. Malaysia's danders up now and they're coming fast. This is going to be a very difficult patch for the Chinese. They have to get on top of this because the pressure is coming. Malaysia are on this. They've realised they've got a man advantage and they're pressing it. That's a long ball forwards. Can they get punished? Oh, that's going to be cut away by Zaylin. Malaysia ball. Chinese defending with 4 again. That's the late push. There's some nice skills there from Azalin, but took a late push, went in, recovered, but did get the foul. Under 3 minutes to go in this game. I think probably now Malaysia can hold out, especially as they're currently against 4. Only another 10 seconds on that for that sending off, but I think probably the periods they've played short-handed will have taken enough out of the Chinese team that Malaysia to see this home. And if they couldn't before, I'm pretty sure they can. And that's the sailing job done, really. 6 goals to 2. Malaysia lead over Chinese People's Republic of China. They're back to 5 now. But can they stick another goal on this? The rain intensifying, coming down quite heavily now. As the Chinese press forward again. Yeah, nice and steady. 30 on the shot clock. I'm sure they'll get something away before then. Being well held out by the Malay defence. They're really going to have to do something. Coming into 15 seconds. Shot's going to play up. In the end, it was taken by Wei, but not really much on it. But it does get the reset. So, as we approach the final minute, China take it. 5 seconds, clearly being counted by referee Anderson. Does get the shot to pass away, or the corner ball away in time, but it's picked up by Malaysia and they come streaming forward. So, what is the last minute of this game going to bring us? Oh, that's a missed pass. That was a great opportunity, but it's gone begging, I think, because we're too close to the goal line for a shot now. Still plenty of time left in this half. We're not done yet, and that's desperate pass has actually found its way to FR, but she can't get it in the goal with any towards the goal with any force, and China come away. If they realise there's 30 seconds left, they could craft a good goal here, and a goal right now would make a difference to them. It'd give them a bit more pride. I think the periods they played with players short is what's hurt them in this game. They could have stood toe-to-toe with Malaysia with 5 players on the pitch the whole time. But a couple of silly fouls have cost them because they proved they're a match for them in most departments. Malaysia coming away. They're going to run out of time, I think, here, both teams. We're going to end this game with Malaysia winning by 6 goals to 2 over the People's Republic of China in the under-21 women's category. It's under-21 women's Group E. And we will be going to the next game on this pitch, which